The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the alternative Digitalk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the alternative Digitalk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo mu maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the alternative Digitalk.
Ziri 28 zezakaita kusawa imweyo kumacha. You're welcome from wherever you're watching us from. Everybody who's watching us from the northern part of Uganda, that is, we're talking about districts like Kitugum, Lira, Gulu, Ajumani, Aleptong, Elegu, all of us watching from that particular region. You're most welcome to the Mighty Drive show. Welcome people from the west, people of Rukungiri, Kasese, Mbarara, Fort Poto, Kabarole, Bundibugyo, and the rest of the western part of Uganda. Thank you so much from wherever you're watching us from. And the people from the eastern part of the region of Uganda. We are talking Samia, we are talking Bagisu, we are talking Bale, we are talking Tirinyi, we are talking Kumi, we are talking various parts of the eastern part of Uganda. Thank you so much for watching. And let's bring it home, and that is the central part of Uganda. We're talking districts like Kampala, Wakiso, and other various parts of the central region of Uganda. You're most welcome from wherever you're watching us from. Buli omu ali mu kutulaba olunaku olwaleero mbaniriza nnyo ku show ya mwenganzi. Program bagita The Mighty Drive ebeerayo buli lunaku lwa Monday paka ku lunaku lwa Friday okuva ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya paka ssaawa 3. Tubeerawo wano nga tunyumyamu emboozi naawe nga tukunyumiza biki ebibadde gy'otaabadde era amawulire ekigooba osubiddwa era nga tutera okunyumyamu ne ku discussions ez'enjawulo oba emboozi ez'enjawulo ne tulaba engeri gye tusobola okuba nga tukulaakulanyamu eggwanga lyaffe Uganda ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for coming in late today. Unfortunately, there are some challenges here and there, but as the wise man said, better late than never. We are here and we are ready to serve Uganda. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga, and I am a journalist with the Alternative Digitalk TV. Right here, as I told you, we are an online television. Digitalk TV, we are an online television. And we are redefining how social media is, influencing the different broadcasting spectrum in Uganda. So we are redefining the narrative. We are bringing you excellent professional quality work at the comfort of your palms. Mikono jo ku masimu go ku tablet yo, ku computer yo, ku TV yo, go buli omu wonna wotulabira era tubeera wano. Gwalina earphones matu ng'oli ku mu taxi ogenda nga olaba Digitalk TV webale kubanga otwekumiddeko. Njagala okwebaza Norman Tumuhimbise, Executive Director ne Vision Bearer wa Digitalk TV. Thank you so much. Buli kimu kyokola na buli kumacha okukeeranga ku program eya The Mighty Drive. Na buli omu njagala okusooka okwebaza omwami Rogers Tulyahabwe, ye mwami ali ku kamera olunaku lwaffe olwaleero, era ye mwami oyo making sure nti no bino ebifaananyi obiraba in real time. Mukose Arnold Anthony, programs director waffe wano, ne Jeremiah Mukiibi we bali okubanga bakuweereza wali mu production department. So gwayagala okubanga olangako naffe, it is okay, we are free to business okubanga tukolagana naawe. Gwayagala okubanga olanga ebyamaguzi byo osobola okukubira programs director w'ekifo kino, ennamba ye eri 0701 800-212. omwami bamuyita Arnold Mukose Anthony. Mukubire esimu amuteese ku ngeri gye tusobola okubanga okolamu naffe. Jjukira ffe wano tukolera ku bbeeyi etali y'amaanyi, bbeeyi ya nsaamusaamu, okubanga osobola okubanga olaga ebyamaguzi bye eri ensi esobole okubanga ebyettanira. Then osobola era okubanga oyogerako naffe oba weetaaga okubanga event yo tugi live streaming. Ffe tukola live streaming, tukola videography, tukola photography, byonna ne events management tusobola okukolera omukolo gwo ne tuguteeka wali, book launching n'ebintu ebyenjawulo. Gwe oba olina omukolo gwonna ng'oyagalako camera, oyagala ku live streaming, oyagala okukolera videography, oyagala kintu kyonna as long as it's media related, Digitalk TV or the alternative Digitalk team weri okubanga ekuweereza mu ngeri eyo. Ndowooza kati ngenda kugendako mu mawulire, naye nga sinagendako mu mawulire ge tulina olunaku olwaleero. Tulina abagenyi abakulu babiri. Omu bamuyita Hellen Sayuni, omanyi bagamba ladies first. Hellen Sayuni okuva mu Democratic Party, ate era ye Vice President wa Uganda Young Democrats UYD, yali abaddeko wano naffe ku Mighty Drive olunaku lwayo tumukomezaawo. Era tulina n'omwami Asuman Odaka, ono nno ye National Coordinator wa kiri ekibiina kye bayita NEED. Ajja kuba babuulya ekibiina ekyo kiki ekikola ate what is it really oriented for. In that regard, our discussion for today is what should the citizens do in order to help themselves from the crisis. So kyetwebuuza citizens' reactions towards the crisis. That and much more tugenda okubanga tunyumyamu. Osobola okutusindikira message wano ku social media platforms zaffe at the Alternative Uganda where tuli streaming live, ne at Digitalk TV wonna gye tuli mu kuweereza butereevu essaawa eno yennyini. So sindika comments zo tubuulye ki ky'olowooza abannansi oba citizens basobola okureactinga batya oba basobola batya okubanga abeeyamba okuva mu mbeera embi gye bali. Mujjukire embeera eno ibadde y'amaanyi nnyo, ibadde mbi, bantu bangi abagifiirinze, obwavu bungi, ebbeeyi y'ebintu yeekanamye, omuli amafuta kati gali mu nnusu nga kakaaga bisatu kakaaga bina. Mu petrol station ez'enjawulo osobola okusanga amafuta ngali ku kasanvu. So tunaakola tutya ennaku zino ebbeeyi y'emmere, ebbeeyi y'akawunga nayo eyongedde okubanga yeeyongera. So twebuuza what should the citizens do, because President yavaayo n'agamba mbuno abaana beesibe enkuba, abantu beesibe enkuba, naye ffe tuba tuzeesibye ye mwattu ki kye tugenda okubanga tuzzaako. Ffe nga ffe tusobola kwekola tutya oba kwekolamu tutya omulimu tulabe nga tukyusa embeera gye tuyitamu. Bannange kanyingireko mu mawulire agabadde gye mutaabadde. Weekend namba ebaddemu amawulire gabadde mangi. Mu weekend eno yennyini omwami Joshua Cheptegei yavuddeyo n'awangula n'adefendinga in fact omudaali gwe ogwa gold wali mu 2002 IAAF athletics championships ezadde zigenda mu maaso wali mu Melbourne. So omwami oyo Joshua Cheptegei yamakinze Uganda proud, yawangudde gold omulundi omulala, as he has done it before. He went back and actually really defended his medal, and he is making Uganda proud. That is the gentleman Joshua Cheptegei. Teyabadde yekka, yabadde n'omunnayuganda ogulaba ali ku extreme right, Jacob Chiplimo. Bana no bato, Jacob Chiplimo is just 22 years. I think he's making 23. And Cheptegei Joshua is making 25. This particular young people that are redefining, the sports and the athletics department in Africa and in Uganda. They are making Uganda proud. So congratulations, Joshua Cheptegei, upon winning gold in the 10,000 meters right there in Melbourne. Congratulations, you have made Uganda proud. Nalabienga buli omu ali wali nga yeebaza nga ali mu kuwaana Joshua Cheptegei kubanga making the Uganda proud in that regard. Joshua Cheptegei, 25 years old, and he has been doing this for a lot of times. A couple of medals right there in, the athletics department. So congratulations, Mr. Joshua Cheptegei, and the gentleman Jacob Chiplimo, who was third and actually won himself bronze. Bano abaami sigwe gusoose nga babikola emirundi mingi mbadde mubawulira. Joshua Cheptegei kakyeka awezezza emidaali gya gold 3. Jjukira kati alina kubanga alina 4 naye omudaali gwe yawangula ogumu ogwa gold mu competitions ezaggwa yakwata n'agudonatingira Kiprotich n'amugamba Kiprotich gwe yatuyigiriza bye tuli mu kukola kati. Jjukira Kiprotich yagenda mu London mu 2012. He was the first Ugandan I don't think he was the first but he was one of those Ugandans who won Olympic gold. That was back in 2012 in London. Abajjukira Olympics ezaali mu London. Omwami oyo Joshua Cheptegei yatufuula proud. So azze Kiprotich yatufuula proud by then, naye kati Cheptegei azze n'ayongera ku zaabu abaana gwe bawangudde oba Uganda gwe wangudde mu ngeri eyo. So thank you for waving the Ugandan flag. Era leero kantandikire ku mawulire amalungi gokka. Ssaabasajja Kabaka Magulunnyondo Ronald Muwenda Mutebi yakuzizza amazaalibwa ge ag'enkaaga mu musanvu, his 67th birthday. Era mu ngeri eyo omwami oyo Magulunnyondo yaweereddwa ekirabo kya Rolls Royce. Emmotoka nno ze zimu ku mmotoka ezisinga ebbeeyi. Eyo nno gy'olaba yali ya Ssekabaka Muteesa tu eyali taata wa Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, era ye emmotoka gye yalina by then. Naye bagenze ne bagikolako bulungi ne bagirectifying ne bagitereeza ne bagikomyawo nga yonna etetabutesi okugiwa omwana wa Muteesa ng'alamula Obuganda. So that was his birthday gift ng'aweza emyaka 67 egy'obuto. Yes, so congratulations and happy birthday Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi. Bamuwadde emmotoka ye eyali ya kitaawe Rolls Royce wali. Era mu bitiibwa eby'amaanyi n'omwami Gordon wava muno, ono nno musajja mugagga naye yasobodde okubanga Kabaka amusiima n'amwebaza emirimu gy'akoledde Obuganda over the time Gordon wava muno gy'abadde ku nsi kuno. Omwami oyo Gordon wava muno mu abatamumanyi nno ye musajja omu ku basajja abakoze ssente z'osobola okugamba mbu yes, he has actually made money in his time. Omwami Gordon wava muno sente ye sente gyazimbye mpola mpola. He started making money by the way for people who didn't know Gordon wava muno back in the 60s. Omwami oyo yatandikira mu kukola udduuka eyo mu side z'embalala eyo. Omwami oyo gye yava Gordon wava muno n'ajja nga azimba sente ze mpola mpola from the 60s n'azikola mu 70s n'azikola mu 80s. In fact yaleeta Daimler Benz oba mwe gye muyita Mercedes Benz. Oyo no franchise leeta Benz mu Uganda yagikwata I think around 70s omwo nga Emina akyali mu buyinza when he was still actually the president of Uganda. Gordon wava muno signed a contract with Daimler Benz okubanga importing Benz okuzireeta mu Uganda. Yali yasooka okugula franchise eyo n'agireeta wano okutandika wali Spear Motors. Era musajja abadde enterprising, yalina ebintu ebyenjawulo, alina recreation activity, alina recreation centers, alina amamotoka, alina amayumba. Gordon wava muno has really done a lot. Alina a lot of businesses. Ate nga businesses zonna omwami Gordon wava muno azikoledde wano mu Uganda mwennyini ne ssente ye azagizimba. Sibe bano boolaba mbu nno jjo yabadde mwavu n'akikuba bakiyita kibimba n'okikuba n'osala n'ogenda mbaloodi. So mu ngeri eyo Gordon wava muno Kabaka yamwebazizza okubanga ayambye nnyo Obuganda. Ate nga tucelebrating emyaka 67 egy'omutanda ng'ali ku nsi kuno Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi akyali mu championinga the reduction of HIV/AIDS ng'agamba mbu ffe abasajja ffe abalina okukulembera enteekateeka ey'okulwanisa mukenenya mu maka gaffe wano mu Uganda. So Kabaka akoze kyamaanyi okubanga atumbula health y'Abannayuganda era nga celebrating emyaka 67 Bannayuganda yabakakasizza nti tukyalina okubanga tulwanyisa obulwadde bwa mukenenya. Jjukira mmwe abavubuka abali eyo obulwadde bwa mukenenya nno buluma nnyo ate ennaku zino ensangi zino bwakomeddewo mu bavubuka ate especially according to some reports abavubuka abawala be basinga okubanga balina buno obulwadde obwa HIV/AIDS. So Kabaka agamba nti abasajja since the leaders and the vision bearers of our homes, we should be in line to actually fight HIV/AIDS. Not only HIV/AIDS, but also the stigmatization of victims of HIV/AIDS. So mu ngeri eyo Kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi ya celebrities emyaka 67 bweddu. So congratulations and happy birthday to the king of Buganda. In fact, he is the kabaka, he is not a king. Bagamba ye kabaka Ronald Muwenda Mutebi. Tuveeko kaawo tugende kondooza mawulire amalala. Joe Biden olunaku lw'eggulo, in fact wiki eyewedde ya meetinga Saudi yagendako yawuubako ekigere wali mu Saudi Arabia omwami Joe Biden. Ono Joe Biden myaka 78 ye president w'eggwanga liri erya United States ya meetinze Saudi Arabia. Jukira we yagenze mu Saudi Arabia na meetinga the crown prince oba prince alinze namulondo wali mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman gwe ya meetinze olunaku ndoza wiki eyewedde omwami Joe Biden. Olunaku lw'eggulo yafudde mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia. Bayogedde ku bintu ebyenjawulo omuli ebbeeyi y'amafuta eyeekanamye mu ggwanga ya USA ate wonna across Europe there is an increasing price in increasing fuel price throughout Europe and of course the rest of the world. Mumanye ebigenda maaso wali mu lutalo lwa Ukraine, of course nembeera after post COVID-19. So omwami ono yameetinze yagenze mu Saudi Arabia na meetinga prince alinze namulondo oyo gwe mulabaawo, wadde era yagambye kyeyasookeddeko mugamba bye bintu ebya Jamal Khashoggi oli oyo eyali munnamawulire yattibwa nga bagamba bwe yattibwa ku orders eza crown prince ono yali critique w'amaanyi. Jamal Khashoggi yali critique wa Prince Ahmed bin Salman, yali critique ennyo era we yagenda wali mu Turkish embassy teyakomawo, bagamba yattibwa mu bukambwe obw'amaanyi. So Joe Biden kyeyatandikiddeko ekyo jukira kyali kireesa a lot of challenges and controversies between US and Saudi Arabia nga bagambye n'engeri gye bayisamu bannamawulire si ngeri eri ennungamu, it's not something that is decent. So in that regard omwami ono Joe Biden yameetinze Saudi Arabian Crown Prince wali mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia. Yada nga banoonya ku ngeri gye basobola okuba nga maybe by increasing a lot of fuel batandika okuproducing amafuta amangi oba baproducing amafuta amangi tomanya wegana flocking the market kijja kwekanga nga prices z'amafuta zeesazeeko according to Mr. Joe Biden. Bayogedde ku global energy n'engeri gye basobola okuba nga bakwataganamu global trade and of course respect of human rights. Wadde Saudi Arabia siri eggwanga lyosobola okugamba mbu nno litera okuba nga lissaamu ekitiibwa mu ddembe ly'obuntu. So mu ngeri eyo Joe Biden, president wa United States of America, yasobodde okuba nga awubako ekigere wali mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia. Eddakiika zino ndaba ziri 43 ze zaakayita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya. Gwe yakatwegaddako oli ku program bagita Mighty Drive. Amannya nze Edgar Matthew Karuhanga okuba nga nkuweereza. I'm always here from Monday to Thursday. Then ku Friday wali mukose Arnold Anthony abeerawo. Then Alternative Digitalk TV ebeera open. Osobola okuba nga otusindikira message oba olina content gw'oyagala tu airinge oba olina ky'oyagala tukuwe nga tukuyambamu. We are here to serve you. Actually get back to you in real time. Otusindikira message tugiraba ne tukuddira there and then mawulire amalala ge nninawo wano nkandabe kuba akadde ndaba kantwala kantindiggwa. Amawulire ge nninako ndooza mujjukira omwana oba omuvubuka gwe bayita erinnya ye Betungira Bewati, omuvubuka ono eyattiddwa mu Makerere University. Jukira osetendekero ya Makerere University olunaku lw'omukaaga wabadde waliyo elections. So on the eve of that day, that was Friday, twalabanga waliwo omanyi bino ebya political rallies ezibeera mu different universities. So abawagizi ba FDC n'abawagizi ba NUP wali mu Makerere University basobodde okuba nga balwanamukko oba nga beekubamukko mpolampola. Mu ngeri eyo unfortunately waliwo omwana omu ate nga yesina wa Makerere. Omwana ono yabadde wa Uganda Christian University settendekero eyo y'emukono gye bayita UCU. Ye mwana gwe baafumise ekiso mu bulago. Omwana n'ava mu bulamu bw'ensi olunaku lwali lwa Friday. Okuva olwo Makerere University ya suspending elections ezigenda obeera physical ne suspendinga. Waliwo n'abaana abaakwatibwa mu ngeri eyo mu kwevuvunga okwo okwaleetera omwana omu okuba nga afiirwa obulamu bwe. So mu ngeri eyo abaana bagenda kuba nga balonda online oba online elections wadde simanyi ngeri gye zigenda kukolamu naye kye tulina osooka okuba nga tusaba Mukama omwoyo gw'omuvubuka ono agulamuza ekisa. Omuvubuka abadde mu second year, abadde mwana muto, omuvubuka nnyo, era abadde mutabani wa one of the legislators in the country. So omwami Betungira olunaku lw'eggulo yaziikiddwa wali mu Kamwenge district. Musajja wattu ye yavuunikiddwa. Oluusi bino ebintu bye tuwulira naye n'ogamba waayi tetulina kyakukola naye tulina okuba nga twekuuma mukko ng'Abannayuganda, twekomeko. Waliwo ebintu olumu kati omuli ofumise munno, omanyi abavubuka nammwe mulina oluusi ego zammwe ziba nga zibawaga. That is what I can say, because muli mukulwana, oli mukulwaniza NUP FDC, terina akumanyi mu NUP, teri akumanyi mu FDC. Ate bannalwana kugamba nti kwata ofumite munno, naye because you feel you're on top of the world, you have entered your 20s, you are young, and you think that onaakwata n'ofumita omuntu ekiso kikufuula nnyo wakabi. Njagala oluusi ebintu bino tubikule, we outgrow some things, because at the end of the day these things are not going to last us anywhere. So tebinawe bitutwala. Omwana ye yaziikiddwa, tagenda kubanga akomawo. Gwe naawe obadde muvubuka wakatandika obulamu bw'ogenze ku university ate otuuse ofumita abantu biso. Bwe bakukwata ne bakusiba amayisa obulamu bwo bwonna. Imagine you are 22 and you have been arrested and you have been given a life sentence. That means you're going to spend the rest of your life behind bars. Bananga oluusi ebintu bino tubirowoozeeko nga tetunakola decisions, because kati oli gwosse abadde mutabani wa muntu, abadde muganda wa muntu. And one thing that Ugandans need to understand is that life is priceless. Obulamu bwo tebugulwa. So when someone goes, newokola otya, tulina okuyiga ekintu kye bayita sanctity of human life, nti obulamu bw'omuntu tebulinaako bbeeyi. So oli omusse muvubuka abadde ku university, badde bamusuubiramu bingi, gwe lwakuba tokwatagana na wa NUP oba na wa FDC, n'okwata n'ofumita munno ekiso. Kati gw'oddayo otya okwebaka otulo, wadde ne baba tebakutte ne woba okoze ekyo, manye bya Uganda wano. Oyinza okuba bamanyi n'oggula justice. Ndaba nzijukira wali omuvubuka yatta girlfriend we, abajjukira, I'm forgetting the name of the lady. Yamutta ne basasula $150,000, omusango gwo kati gwagobeddwa. Omuvubuka yafuluma dda ali wabweru w'eggwanga, ye ali mu kuliisa buti. Naye era bw'obeerayo wekkeeyo, what do you think to yourself? Oweebaka n'otulo n'ogamba natta omwana w'abendi, ne weebaka, oluusi kiba tekikola mu ngeri eyo. So ye omwami Bewaati Betungira yasiikiddwa olunaku lw'eggulo oyo omuvubuka eyattibwa. Ebifaananyi nadde saagala kubireeta kubanga ebifaananyi ebiriko omusaayi oluusi tebitera nnyo kubanga birabika bulungi, naddala ku makya kuno on a brand new week. Naye kyemulina omumanya, omuvubuka oyo ye yaziikiddwa olunaku lwabadde lwaggulu. Eddakiika zino ziri 47 ze zaakayita ku ssaawa emu ey'okumakya. Munzikirize, yes, twogereko ne ku pulezidenti w'eggwanga lino, omwami Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni. Mbajjukiza agenda kubanga aweza emyaka 78 guno omwezi ogujja, in September 15th, because president waffe yazaalibwa ennaku z'omwezi 15 September omwaka gwa 1949, wadde naye agamba takakasa oba gwe gwali omwaka gwe, naye we yagenda n'asooka anoonyereza gye yava ne bamugamba gwe nno Museveni alabika wazaalibwa 49. So president oyo gwe tulina, president waffe Tibuhaburwa Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, olunaku lw'eggulo yamiitinze Patrice Motsepe, ono nno ye CAF president oba president wa ekibiina ekitwala omupiira ku lukalu lwa Africa. Yamumiitinze olunaku lw'eggulo wali yabadde ne Engineer Moses Magogo, kwabaddeko Thomas Tayewa, deputy president, deputy speaker, then Triple M Mumanyi, Annette, speaker waffe Annette Anita Among, babadde wali nga bamiitinga president ne Patrice Motsepe. Patrice Motsepe nga mbagambye yakulembera ekibiina kiri ekya CAF ekitwala omupiira ku continent ya Africa. President we yamiitinze bayogedde ku ngeri gye basobola okutumbulamu talenti z'Abannayuganda ab'enjawulo, era mu ngeri eyo president n'agamba bagenda kubanga bongeramu ssente, bagenda kwongera okuinvestinga mu mupiira. Okujjako oluusi ze kino nkyebuuza kinaakola kitya, because bw'otunulamu president sente zibasiza mu mupiira, saa zino omupiira gwe gusinga okubanga gutwala ssente mu Uganda, naye omupiira mu bintu ebitwala ssente gyakulembera, naye mu kuzza amagoba omupiira gwe gulimu ku sports ezisembayo tetukola bulungi. Abawala ndooza mu abalabe bagenze mu AFCON ekyabaddeyo. Uganda kati akamala season 2 nga tegenda mu AFCON. Tiimu zaffe ekulembera newangula Premier League etwala miliyoni ndooza 6 eza Uganda. Ngaze miliyoni 6 ezo tiimu emwe eyinza zikozesa ndooza n'omwezi gumu nga tegweweze nga zaweddewo dda. So President nze ndowooza prioritizing ebintu ebizza amagoba. Look at athletics. Athletics is one of the least invested in sports in Uganda, but when you look at the returns, athletics has actually brought returns. In the last 10 years, tuwale kuva 2012, katandike ku 2010, 2012 omwami ono Kiprotich awangula, before that omuwala erinnya ndyerabidde naye yawangula awo, tubadde ne Cheptegei ng'awangula, tubadde ne Kiplimo ng'awangula, abaana bannakkayi bawangudde mu athletics. Naye nga wotulamu budget ya sports, athletics bagiwa ssente entono nnyo. So oluusi ndowooza turevising ebintu ebimu. Tunuya rugby era Mukama yayamba mbuno mu Uganda tulina abantu abagagga emizannyo abagyeddiza bo bagifeeko. Mwali muwuliddeko aba rugby nga bakaaba, aba cricket nga bakaaba, aba table tennis nga bakaaba. Emizannyo wali abagagga abagikkiririzaamu, abainvestingamuko kasente, abaana ne bagenda ne bakola ne banyumirwa. Naye gavumenti ekutte ssente zonna eziteeka mu mupiira. Omupiira gwe tuliko tetugufunamu. Otuba tuwangudde nnyo tuwangula ndooza kana akakopo nze nteetera kayita kakopo ka kyalo kano aka East African Community. Omanyi olundu otuteeka ssente ate tetutazifunamu. Otera wangula mu sekava gy'otera owangulamu. So oluusi tubirowoozeeko bino ebintu nga tukola ebyo. So President Museveni nga mu ngeri eyo tusaba priorities changing. There should be a shift of priority. Then abantu ndooza 30 be bafiiridde wali ku border ya Sudan ne Ethiopia. Nga mmaliriza abantu 33 naye nga manye ekibatta tribal conflicts. Banaye tukyali mu Africa wakyaliyo tribes ezitakwatagana ne beetema ne betta. Waliwo Ababali n'aba Hausa wali ku Sudan, ku border ya Sudan ne Ethiopia. 33 bo be bafudde nga bali mu lutalo olwo ebintu olwa tribal conflicts. So mungere eyo nayo twerwaneko Africa tuveeyo. Then temperatures zeeyongedde ndooza muwulira omusana ennaku zino engeri gye gwekaname. So ebyo byonna nga tubirowoozaako tulabe engeri gye tusobola okuba nga tukyusaamu. There is an increasing European heat wave. Terina mu Europe yokka ne mu Africa eno ndooza mukawulira bannange climate change is real. Climate change is real. Ndooza leero mukkiriza climate change is actually real. Temperatures zeeyongedde across the world. Wetwogera nga degrees zibeera mu 34 degrees Celsius, 38 mu Africa wano utalina omungi tubeeranga mu 28 degrees Celsius. Bannange mutandika okukuuma obutonde bw'ensi, mukuuma obutonde kuba mutaabukuume muba mugenda kufa at the end of the day. If you don't take care of the climate, my dear, you're going to die. Edakika zino ziri 5 ze zibulayo okuwera ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya. Munzikirize mpumulemu. Bwenkomawo omukyala Hellen waali Sayuni n'omwami Asuman Odaka we bali tugenda nyumya paka ssaawa ziri 3 then tulabe ekinaba kiddako. Good morning Uganda.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Digitalk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the alternative Digitalk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugende mu maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop, and smart TVs. As we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the alternative Digitalk. How you beautiful Ugandans? It's your girl Digitalk. Welcome to the fancy floor. Who doesn't see my hair, guys? I am super glamorous. Remember, this is the only show where we're going to be talking about fashion.
Please, where are you think? Teaching.
What has been confusing you about fashion? Sorry, you said I should not smile. For all the information about fashion, maintenance of body shape.
I can wear bling bling when I'm going out. So you can wear bling bling going out or any occasion.
We shall be doing all this in the fancy floor. Remember, it airs every Thursday right from 8:30 to 9 with your girl Teddy Tenjo. It is the fancy floor.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the alternative Digitalk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the alternative Digitalk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugende mu maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop, and smart TVs. As we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the alternative Digitalk.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. It is exactly 8 a.m. Good morning to all of you who are watching us and those who have just joined us. This is the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karohanga and this is Digitalk TV. We air every day. We're always here serving Ugandans as we promised, and we are redefining the social media narrative. Let me go straight to our guests in studios today. I have a member of the Uganda Young Democrats. In fact, she is the vice president of UYD and, of course, a member of the Democratic Party, Miss Hellen Zion Sayuni. She's a personal friend of mine, and it's happy to have you on the show later. Oliotia. Sina tabu yonna.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
You're welcome back from a commercial forced break.
That was a typical commercial forced break. I also have a member of a need. He will tell you what that actually, symbolizes. Mr. Asuman Odaka, you're welcome to the drive.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for always serving Uganda.
Whether by hook or crooks.
Not crooks really, but by hook and determination.
Yes, please.
I also want to thank you for standing firm. That was baptism of fire.
Baptism of fire.
Yes. When you read the book from they call it From Dictatorship to Democracy.
Yes.
They tell you that opposing a dictatorship has never think that there will be no cost. By whatever strategy you use, there will be a cost when you're confronting a dictatorship. So I always expect that, even if as long as you're speaking truth to power. So that was expected.
Okay.
Yeah, I am the national coordinator of NEED. NEED is National Economic Empowerment Dialogue.
Okay.
My team leader is Joseph Kizakabreta, who sends you and Ugandans greeting, and he stands with you, and he stood with you.
All right. So we're going to start from there, but they normally say ladies first, but today I'm not going to.
When it is not gizzard.
Let me start with Mr. Asuman. Your forum, or what you need, stands for economic empowerment, and we are in a place today where our economics and our empowerment in economics is very, very low. As we're speaking, people don't have a lot of money. People are selling themselves. People are running to outside of Uganda. There was an article that published that over 2,000 young people leave Uganda every day.
Every day.
Asuman, that's a big number.
Yes.
If 2,000 young people are going every day, what next? Just for you, what is your take on what is actually happening, the economic situation?
You see, the existence of need was well thought out, well intentioned, and deliberate. Many of us who formed up need either belonged to other organizations in terms of whether it was political, whether religious, or even civic. But look, when many of us, but we were also friends because we were discussing matters of this country. And we realized some of these things being done in terms of what you're calling, what now they call it, they legalized it and called it labor export, which is really modern day.
I think it's our fourth biggest export as Uganda.
Which is really the slave. It is slave trading of our modern times. It is no doubt about that. Of course, you English people, you people, when you have, that when you have somebody who helps you in removing your dustbin at home, you know how they call them? You people, you English people, call them sanitary manager, sanitary engineer. Somebody who sweeps here, and so you will call him health something. So domestic manager, and so on and so forth. So even this, you only baptized it using, sanitized it with good English, but it is slave trading. Because let me tell you, it involves taking our people, selling, it is actually selling, trading our people, taking away their organ parts, extorting money from them. All those defined what slave trade in the ancient era was. It is what is happening in this government. That's one. Number two,
Yes.
we also knew, and I'm giving you background, we also knew that this country is, there is no country as rich as this, let me tell you.
The USA is richer than Uganda.
No,
so,
it is rich in terms of paper dollar. But let me tell you, in terms of mineral resources, endowment, this country.
Yes.
I was telling somebody just yesterday that in the East and Central Africa, there is no country with gold deposit equivalent to just Bukedi, not just the whole country. Bukedi alone, a place called Itira. According to that,
I was surprised that gold is one of our biggest exports.
But you cannot. But you see, to show how terrible the managers or mismanagers of this country are, you can only get that data from the gold export website. Domestic data you will not find.
Actually, do not look it.
It is not there. You see, it's not there. In Uganda, you can't find that data. That is how thieving, how terrible, how deceptive, how terrible the mismanagers of this country are. Even if you went to, you want to get data about the crude oil, Uganda is number 9 on the world market. In the country here, you can't find anything. Let me tell you everything. That's number 3. We realized...
Where are you taking the discussion?
No, I am giving you the discussion of the existence of need and therefore related to the current economic crisis.
Okay.
That's the question you asked.
Yes, continue.
You see, when you look at when the head of state, although my friend keeps wanting to call him headache of state, you know, when he came, he started a narrative of creating a middle class. Middle class that does not create its money from business, but getting money from government.
That is actually right.
You get it? It is the kind of, it's called, the other day they launched a book called Musevenomics. That is the Musevenomics model that creates a middle class like that. Where
a middle class that is dependent on government. But it's not dependent on actually their resources.
On creating wealth. They don't create wealth. They grab wealth from government.
Continue, Asuman, continue.
Now, of course, all those conversations, if I started mentioning them, I will mention till chicken come home. But you see, because of time, I will tell you, so we sat and said now, all the others, all the rest, all of us are talking about abstract things like good governance, human rights. Those are very important. But you see, a person who is sleeping hungry, a person whose wealth is being grabbed, a person whose future, do you know that the youth that are going are the future of this country?
Yeah.
Are being taken. Those people will not understand human rights. Human rights is nothing if somebody is sleeping hungry. If somebody's wealth is being taken. Do you know that Bukedi, which gives this country 200 billion every day worth of gold, you know, is the second poorest to Karamoja?
Where is, that's what I was going to say. Where is the reflection of the resources we have vis-a-vis what we are seeing today? Hoima, there was an irony. By the time we were having fuel crisis, Hoima's fuel was at 15,000 per litre. But it is supposedly the oil city.
Yes. The oil city without oil. Now, I will tell you, of course, the reflection is in President Museveni's mind and his minister's mind. That's why they sit in the cabinet. Then they say, okay, you people, what do you think? Can't we just say we are in middle?
Stop there. I mean, because the conversation of middle income is going to even bring us to another perspective.
It brings us, it is actually around here.
Because it is an irony that we are middle income in a time like this. Hellen Zion, Sayuni. Eggwanga, also cause Uganda over English is better. Okay, let's go with English. Hellen, what is your take of what is really happening today? How did we get here? And the young people that you represent at the Uganda Young Democrats, what is their say? What do they think is happening? And has the government really been there, or is there something we are missing in the economic? And, you know, I don't even want to narrow down the discussion to the economics of the country, because there are very many things that are happening what you see in Uganda today, what is your take on it?
Well, I think we every time I wake up, I find life is just getting harder. And you wonder what our young people are actually going through, because even when you look at, not even the young people, only all of us are actually going through a lot. You wonder what is going to happen the next day every time you wake up. Every time you wake up, fuel has just increased maybe by 100, 200, depending.
Yes.
So that shows that the economy is just starting to shoot high, and we are not even seeing anything like the government coming up to show us the direction. Instead, they're actually waiting for the direction from members, from Ugandans, of which we expect the government to be showing us the direction. But by the time you see the whole country is under confusion. We do not know what to do. Like, you sit down and you're like, now what next? But the government itself is just seated and waiting maybe for Ugandans to come to City Square and say, look, this is what we can do. But we actually have what we can do. Because you see, the president was saying we are in the middle income, and I saw cartoonists drawing us when we've reached the reception, taking us back.
Just thank World Bank that says that is rubbish.
That is rubbish. We thank them that they were too open to that.
But you boss came out to actually say that the statistics show Uganda is middle income.
But see, who is you? Who supervises you, boss?
You boss is
if
we can't believe our statistics,
it is just an order. In Uganda, me, I cannot believe anything until it is me, maybe, who has done it, or maybe my party. Because, but when things come up like this, you see, Karamoja is among the richest regions that we have.
If not
But
the richest.
yes, but when you see what they're going through, the famine there, they take a cent a wall about think what happened to it. Because you realize that where people are supposed to be doing better are doing worse. And you wonder now, if people are picking a lot of money from Karamoja with all the minerals that are there, but still people are struggling with water, with health, with food, then you realize that
with
even
war, you should also add in.
Yes, with the insecurity, there is a lot of things that we should address, by the way, because I believe, yes, this economy is not just disappearing because of anything. We have a lot of things that are affecting the economy. You look at the insecurity itself in Karamoja, not even in Karamoja only, the whole country. So all those things that evolve and affect the economy.
But then let me ask you, Zion.
Yes.
What is the problem then? Because I feel we have everything that should help us, in fact, be middle income.
I think we
actually really being middle
I think
income.
we failed on prioritizing. We failed on prioritizing. If the government cannot at least, we as Democratic Party were saying, why can't they suspend for the taxes for some time? We are not saying they expel them.
He said that would be a crisis. That was President.
Yes, because we have a crisis, yes. Ugandans are struggling, and we are likely to struggle the more. But if we suspended the taxes for some time,
and that's what President Museveni said, that if you suspend the taxes, then that you will be killing yourself more.
You will not kill yourself more. You will actually help members to live. Because you realize even the taxes that they are getting, they are actually being swindled by a few members. They are not helping the all Ugandans.
Let me just add on that taxing a bit, because there is an article that was published and was showing that on every liter of fuel, the government has 1,500 shillings.
It is now 2,000.
It's now 2,000 something. It's approximating to 2,000. So imagine, that is like 40%, if 35 to 40% of the entire price of fuel. So if that money continued like that, 2,000, that means the fuel will even go up to like 8,000 or 10,000.
It's going actually to reach 10.
So
they should just wake up and tell us it's 10 now.
To say that if we reduce the taxes, we'll be killing ourselves.
But you know, the president is just full, like around his friends only, who just come and tell him this. But he's not out there to see what is happening. I believe in the analogy that if you want to get better, you surround yourself with people who know much more than you. But the problem that we have had is that this government, the President Museveni, is just around his friends, who keep on just romancing him and telling him what is not right of what is happening. So that is the challenge that we have, that they come and tell him, man, we have reached the middle income status. And then the guy just comes and reads and tells Ugandans this is where we are. But he's not just accepting the fact that he has to have the people around him who know what to do, trust me, if this government was in the hands of Democratic Party, it would be a little bit far.
Yeah, you would be far.
Yeah, so those are among the challenges that we have.
Asuman, I want now to cross over to a point that you had brought, the middle income status. First of all, the irony of fuel is at 6,500. Posho has increased. Yes. Everything is on a hike. Yes. And then you come and talk about the middle income status. Okay, I may not refute the fact that we may be middle income status, but have we looked at the income inequalities, Asuman? Asuman, we are in a country which, in fact, Bank of Uganda recently published, remember, and saying that less than 1% of Ugandans get 1 million Uganda shillings. Yeah. And if it's less than 1%, that means we're really looking at the government, the people in government who are getting more than that. I want you to add these things and tell us, as need, how does this reflect on you?
You see, let me tell you, it reflects embarrassment on Museveni and his government for not knowing what to do. For an economy to advance, there are tenets, fundamentals that have to be there. Number one, what is your transport sector? How is it built? Because that propels the running of the economy. An economy, when these guys came to power, the first thing they killed was the railway. Railway, you see, the amount of goods railways transport from Mombasa to here on one route, you don't know how many million liters of diesel that will transport the same here. That is the cost. That is the first one. And $1 increase on fuel is times 5 increase on $1 increase on fuel is times 5 over 5 increase on all commodities. Now that's
it's fuel that actually influences how business runs.
Exactly. So I am telling you,
especially in an economy
I'm explaining to you first of all the current crisis.
Yes.
Now, if you are a government and you allow, you see, the fuel crisis is not just ours, or the inflation is not just Uganda. The difference between Uganda and the others is that others have caring governments. They have measures, they have things, actions, real tangible actions. You see what Kenya did? You see what Kenya did? You see what
12% of taxes were reduced.
You see what Suluhu did here?
Everybody,
including Burundi. So now,
in Uganda we are okay.
And Uganda, because you have a president who is one of the richest in the world. For him, he's in middle income. In other words, the people in this government, if they are in middle income, they think everybody else is. That's the danger we have. That's the danger we have. Yeah. Number two, do you know that, going by your own UBOS, do you know that even according to statistics, border is the second, the second largest income earner for this country? Border. Yeah. You kill every whatever, then you say border. You are into a border economy. And you say middle income? Where can that, what kind of, these guys have lost shame, sense of shame. Number three, you take about, you said 2,000
Ugandans.
Youth, and deliberately less than 30 years, 2,000 every day. 2,000 times 3 times 1 year, that's about how many? Do you know that every year, okay, my old statistics, which I need to update, that every year universities graduate about 40,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning that all those who graduate every year, all of them plus some illiterates also go. And you say you're building an economy for the future? Honestly? What kind of food do these people eat, if I may ask? Let me tell you, the middle income no, middle class. I want to talk about the politics of middle class.
Yes.
I told you that the gentleman, when he arrived there, he said he wanted to build the middle class. And you see, this guy is so sometimes lucky, as we are unlucky in regard to politics. So this situation is helping him to do what he wanted to do. The only people with the money are people who are connected to him and his government.
Yeah.
And therefore people who can get money from government. Right now, as we are here, all those who used to say we have offices, you salary earners, you drive your car from home, you come to office, work and go home. And you thought you are above poverty line. You are all dropping. Because first of all, your salary is constant, but the cost of living has tripled. Not doubled, tripled. If
But
not
you're still
times
getting
four.
the same stipend you are getting.
Yes, exactly. So by implication, you are down by 3. In other words, you are going below. Everybody who used to think is middle income is now going below. Now, for many of you who have been driving, and you think that vehicles used to be convertible as assets, vehicles are no longer convertible
Their
assets.
liability.
You cannot now go and say, I have my car, when I have a problem, I will sell it very fast. You will not, because it is not, me who doesn't have a car, I am better off.
Yeah.
Because the expenditure you incur in a vehicle, my friend, it is now. So you can now see those who've been driving, and one of the indicators of Ubos is that because she's driving and therefore she's above poverty line, now the car is not there. Your salary is times 3 down, not there. So how many poor people are we going to have? And you still go back and say middle income without shame?
Okay, just 22 minutes past the top of the hour of 8. You're still watching the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar. I am still with Asuman Odaka from NEED, and of course Hellen Sayuni, who is from the Uganda Young Democrats and the Democratic Party. We've been talking about the evolution of what is happening today, but then we want to pick up on some working solutions. The lady from the Democratic Party, a political party with a very different ideology, but President Museveni actually recently asserted that how he left you in 1960 is how you still are.
Which one is her ideology? Which one is DP's ideology is what?
The Democratic Party. So the question would be to you, how do we find solutions now?
Now,
You as Democratic Party and UYD, where should government go? What route should it take? And maybe what should we be prioritizing?
first of all, I want to express the fact that we are very disappointed with the president's statement that we should eat cassava. Because you even realize cassava's price has gone so high. Because cassava is not carried on the head.
Helen,
It's also transported.
just information. Me, I eat cassava.
Yeah.
Because of, as a staple food, with cassava bread and so on. But we used to buy cassava at 600. Today, cassava is... No, I mean cassava flour.
Oh, yes.
But now, cassava flour is at 2,200.
Are you sure? I also remember I last bought cassava flour at 600.
Go to the shop.
So my staple food is Irish, Mama Chiga. So you realize that the president is actually talking of what he's green about. He's so green about what he's talking about. They just told him, you tell Ugandans to eat cassava. He just came and told us.
But why do you think they tell him? Why don't?
I cannot think if
He's the one who
you
thinks
cannot say something that you don't know actually. Unless you've been just told and then you come and tell it to people.
They have delegated Uganda or Uganda.
So you realize that even the solutions that he's giving are not practical at all. The whole issue here is prioritizing. We cut on the taxes. We can suspend them for some time.
But did you look at the budget, Helen?
I did.
The budget that came in this situation last month, I think.
In the situation, you realize actually half of it is we are going to borrow.
And you're like, Jesus.
And then where are we going? Because about the two generations coming, may have not to work, but also to work towards covering that debt. You realize we are actually getting poor and poorer again. Those are things that affect us.
We are still getting Benzes for parliamentarians.
We are still getting Benzes for parliamentarians. We still get the 40 million in bags. I had it from the NUP president.
They got the money.
I am not sure because my MPs did not.
That is what they
Just said they didn't tell you.
No, they did not, because if had they gotten, we would be knowing. The other one knew and he came and talked about it. So for us, no.
You see, they know Bachiga speak very truth. They know Bachiga speak the truth. If they told you,
sportswear bajiweri bali besoka so fete tumanyi nedda singa bafuna twandikyogeddeko. You know, we are for truth and justice.
Truth and justice, yes.
So you realize we are still carrying the 40 million bags. Don't you think if the 40 million bags, if it covered the all MPs, it can actually help us drop some tax on some things? It could. So those are things that we are talking about. As this government, what can we do? We cut the taxes and prioritize. Okay. We should stop joking, by the way. This country has become a whole jokery and mockery of what a country should be. We take everything light. We just look at things and we leave them, and we are leaving things if we are. You know? Yes, so that is what I think can be done.
Cutting on the how about cutting even on the expenditure of government?
The expenditure on
government that has legislators are getting over 25 million. They're getting fuel, they're getting everything.
They are getting fuel, and by the way, you realize even the prices of fuel going high may not even affect the parliamentarians.
Yes,
because it does not completely. And I suspect that's why they are so quiet in parliament. If it was squeezing them in any way, I tell you, those people would have spoken up. But now that they are in their comfortable zones for them, they know their allowances will just keep on increasing according to the prices of fuel and what, they're just keeping quiet because they are comfortable. They do not know that every time you wake up, maybe you're going to work in town, you're from Seta, transport is, the fuel is increasing, but you're still working for the same amount of money. Of course. You know?
The income will never change.
The income will never change. I've not seen anywhere where they're saying now that the economy is getting harder, we are increasing maybe your salaries. So we've got to look into how we are going to do this by cutting all those taxes on some things, because the problem is the dollar. Yes.
Yeah. But we have failed on that. So maybe do you have other solutions for Ugandans themselves? Because right now we feel like government has done, according to them, what they are supposed to do.
The government has not done anything.
They have not reduced on the prices, nothing. I feel like there is nothing that has actually been done.
You realize there is even going to be a problem in transporting food. Of late, we are going to have a problem of famine, not only in Karamoja.
Is it going to be? But yes, we are the food basket of Africa.
We are the food basket, but shall it work?
Why we are even so comfortable.
The food won't work. Yes, because the fuel will determine how much the food will be.
So what do you think Ugandans should do? I was hearing in some corridors that people want the Sri Lankan style here. Do you think it is going to work?
It can work, because now the problem is the government only. That we have the government that is sleeping. If this government was not sleeping, trust me, we would have something tangible. You realize all the people who would help us are nowhere. The brains that can sit and design something for us to rely on, they are nowhere. And those are the problems that we shall keep facing.
We are still facing them.
Yeah.
Up to now. Asuman,
yes.
Working solutions. First of all, you as a person who's championing people's empowerment in economics, eradication of poverty, I would like to look at that as the big vision of what you do. Yeah. How do you think we should take this? And do you think what should we do as you? In fact, what should government do so that Ugandans can also do? What do you think government should do? Then what should Ugandans do? And there is a message here. A gentleman is saying that this is terrible. What did you expect from Uganda? And there is Mutale saying, he says, you think we have leaders of the country? These are mafias who came for Cheyo and stealing everything from this motherland. Then there is a gentleman called Turiahawe who says, as much as we don't agree with the protocols of the current government, I don't personally believe suspending taxes is a good idea. We could work with cutting them to particular lesser percentages, but not cutting, because guess what? We all need the schools, the roads, the hospitals, the social services in general, however ugly their shapes are. I think we can do better. We can choose to prioritize the people, hold the leaders by the collars, and tell them, look, the future of this country is beyond individuals in leadership positions. It is probably a risky path, but better than no social services at all. We may end up like Sri Lanka. Continue, sir.
You know, number one, you asked me about what the people should do, but also to advise government. Yeah. I am not an advisor of government. This government here, Mr. Museveni, has about 133 advisors. Only. And somebody says when they meet him, he said he's the one who advises them.
I've heard of those assertions.
Mr. Museveni also has about 82 ministers. Ministers are also advisors. Yeah. Mr. Museveni has RDCs.
500 and what? Legislators.
Yeah, 520 something legislators. He has RDCs. Yeah. He has PISOs. He has ISOs. He has GISOs. He has VISOs. All those are advisors. And therefore, I don't think there is any advice I can give Mr. Museveni in good faith or this government that they can take in or even work with. So I have reached a point where I only wish... No. I have only reached a point where I'm saying, but those guys, 36 years, you think there's anything, I only wish them bad luck. And I am honest about what I'm talking.
At least you're honest.
Now, Ugandans have now to realize this thing, I have always had government etuyambe, tewali government eyajja wano eyagala okuyamba omuntu wa bulijjo. Ffe kennyini ng'abantu, we ourselves as people have to resolve like other people have resolved. If Ugandans woke up and said we don't want this government tomorrow, this government will not be here. You don't even, you see, let me tell you, the 36 years Mr. Museveni has been in power is not that Ugandans have forgotten or don't know how to remove governments. Ugandans are only tired, have only been tired about this issue of transition through blood, through violence, which all of us are saying we should never have, because it reverses even the little you have gained. We should never take that route. But that does not mean we don't know other means of removing government. We wanted to do things. If Mr. Museveni will never be at peace, even in his grave, because of the goodwill Ugandans have given him. There is no leader this country has ever given goodwill like Mr. Museveni, even in the world. Therefore, he has no excuse of passing Ugandans through this kind of pain.
He came at a point where everybody was receptive of what he was saying, everybody was believing.
And he believed, let me tell you.
Believed that President would actually,
there is no government that would ever come to this country, tells you, you go with your 1 million shillings and come back with 7,000. You get it? You are a young man. You go with 1 million, you come back with 7,000. And the people say, okay.
That was 87, right?
That's 87.
The
currency reform. So even beginning at that point, of course, up to date, everybody would know why the 3 zeros were struck, but nobody would explain where the 30% went. Ugandans said, okay, please go ahead. All these things started happening. Ugandans were saying, okay, go ahead. Land reform, this and so on. Ugandans need to know the guys were taking their land. Today, I am telling you, when you look at Ugandans, are you a lawyer? Mm-hmm. You know about citizenship?
I am
you know that the issue of the essence of giving me an ID is all of you to remove citizenship by descent. Me and you are citizens because our grandies were Ugandans. But they are giving you an ID which is expiring. So meaning that you, as a Michiga, you must renew your citizenship. Ugandans said, okay. And all those are intentions.
Asman, they took passports recently that have, we had just gotten those passports.
Yes.
And there was no valid reason that was given to Uganda. And we still went back and switched our passports and paid for new ones.
And you said yes.
Yeah.
No question.
Jesus.
You see?
Yes, Asuman.
Look at all the land laws. There is a friend of mine in Bunyoro there. He's an LOC5. I went to the man's office. He told me, hey, Honorable, first, just a moment. I am coming. When I came out, he said, man, there are 2 people who have come here. I am sorry I delayed you a bit. The people who have come here, all of them are fresh from the neighboring country. I have no problem with Banyarwanda. But I have a problem with the people coming. I have a problem with the Kenyans and with the Sudanese who come, and within 6 months, 6 months like this, the guy, I'm telling you, the guy showed me 6 months, both of them didn't know any Ugandan language, but both of them had Ugandan IDs, but we are struggling and fighting for 7 square miles of land here. Which both of them had titles.
They have Gambanog.
You get it. But Ugandans are saying, yes. I am telling you.
What should they do?
I am telling you, when I'm going to Tororo, I use Ginger and I speak Lusoga. Even this government has abused Basoga sometimes. But Basoga say, for us, they will say yes. But the day Musoga says Mbe,
no.
You can sign agreements, you can do everything, but we will say, no, Mbe. Ugandans are about to say no. And I'm calling upon Ugandans to find a way of saying, because we have moved, we are no longer fighting for abstract things like human rights. Because Ekaramojong, who somebody said I am taking bombs there, but then children were killed, women were being cut, dismembered. You know dismembering? Bombs were being dropped in Manyatas. After that, their children are being ferried from buses to litter the streets. Their lands are being grabbed. And then there is war there. You think those ones know human rights? You think they know good governance?
They know
it is now a fight for survival.
Someone took fire there. He said that he's taking.
Yeah, he said not fire, he said hell. Yeah. And indeed we saw hell there because we saw dead bodies, we saw people dismembered. I have pictures.
What do you mean dismembered?
Do you know getting somebody and cutting every joint? We have pictures. During our need press conference about Karamoja, after we unveiled this to the world, that's how the killing in Karamoja stopped.
Has it stopped?
Of course it is but it is not by through bombing like they used to do. They would go with the helicopters.
Are you talking about the recent challenges that have been in Karamoja? Are you talking about something?
I'm talking about something that started around March, after the death of the geologist.
Yeah.
Yes. They would go with the helicopters and drop bombs in Manyatas like this, killing children, killing cows, killing everything. Now that happened. So we are saying we're no longer fighting. Ugandans should no longer, because if you go and ask these school owners, you're a teacher, Helen. Yes. You know how many children have either failed to come to school or how many parents have completely failed to pay even a coin. You know how
very many.
You know.
Okay, in just a minute, because I see we're remaining with 10 minutes and I want to talk about what happened in Makerere. But before we talk about that, I want you to sum up in a minute what Ugandans, you're telling them to stand up. How should they do this? Every time
we as need.
Put up a hand, have you realized that hand is crushed?
Yes, all of us we as need. We have been deliberately creating empowerment and civic empowerment groups across the country.
Yes.
And in this, we want to call upon all actors, because this is no longer about color. It is about saving this country. We simply want to tell Ugandans, because if you're Ugandan and everything is being done the way it is done, and you can't say no, don't do any, just say no and keep quiet. No and keep quiet. The government will not do anything. You see, let me tell you, here in Malawi, during Bingu wa Mtarika and Kamuzu Banda, you know, Kamuzu Banda was even an admirer of apartheid, in a short one. So he did everything. So the Bingu wa Mutharika sat and said, you guys, what do we do? Others said we join. Others said, no, we just defy. Now, when those who joined, they joined. They joined so much that Kamuzu Banda government and those horrifying machines, some of them are on our streets today that were brought here, didn't have any work to do. Intelligence didn't have anything to do. They thought people are just okay. I am telling you, they went into elections. Kamuzu Banda would get women with very, very long hair, and these ones sleep the other side, this one, and they formed a carpet. When they went into elections with Bingwa Mutharika, but Kamuzu Banda, the loss he had, never woke up. That's how he died.
He died in his sleep.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ugandans can take that part, but there are also over 100 ways, non-violent ways of bringing down a regime that is intransigent. Ugandans included.
Thank you so much. That is Asuman Odaka from NEED, and I am still with Hellen Zion Sayuni, who is from the Uganda Young Democrats. She is the Vice President of the UYD and a member of a Democratic Party. So, guys, let's cross over to another insightful event that happened last week. A young person, second-year student from Uganda Christian University, was murdered in political rallies that were happening in Makerere University. A very, very sad and thing that happened right there. The gentleman was laid to rest yesterday in Kamwenge district, where he hails from, and up to now, I think 8 people have been arrested, but nobody has actually been charged to say that, hey, you are the one who actually did this. I'm going to start with you because you have a political inclination to Democratic Party, and these things have been happening over time. We're seeing most especially young people. Sometimes we see them in riot, in those demonstrations and things like that. But this time, every time there is an election in an institution like Makerere University, there is bloodshed. Now a young person who was just a passerby was killed just like that. What is your take, Helen?
Well, it's so painful, and I want to send my condolences to the fraternity of UCU and to the family of Bewate. It is really painful and a shame that us, the youth, have reached this level. Previously, it's been police and Ugandans, but now by the time we reach to the level of a student to a student,
that NUP supporters,
NUP supporters are fighting. Then I thank God that DP is nowhere in this saga.
At least
we have always been straight. Even in our 2021 manifesto, we were like, we want a change of government without bloodshed. Because if we kill ourselves, then who are we going to lead? If you're struggling to take on government and you're killing people, then who are you going to lead? So it is really painful, and as a generation, we really failed out on how we can do this. I was there on that day of that chaos. I am a survivor too, because
I was also there.
Yes, so because our car almost survived, they were throwing stones at us. But just that we were on a junction, so we could easily turn and leave them behind. So I saw the chaos coming. Actually, in the morning when we were there, you could see that all the teams that were there were all provocative. I do not know what has happened to Ugandans, that they believe every time when you meet someone and you're this side and you're this side, you must disagree and reach to that level. We can disagree minus being disagreeable. Like, we can disagree as gentlemen.
No, you see now that's
this is a matter of ideology, actually, to me.
I'm going to give it to you now, because now you're speaking from a democratic point of view.
Yeah.
DP, and your leader has always been like that. He is a gentleman who thinks, I may agree with you, but we can still sit on the same table and talk in different. We agree to disagree.
Let us.
But that thing has failed to trickle down to the people down.
The thing is, we must disagree, but ideologically.
When people like Mao come out, they will say, "For you were bought." Have you realized that?
They say you were bought, but Ugandans are going to realize that actually they are missing out something big when it's too late. When you start losing your sons, losing your daughters, losing your relatives, your brothers, then maybe that's when we shall realize that. Because however much previously it has been police and Ugandans, you realize still Ugandans are dying. The keyword here is dying. Only that we are transitioning to a human being, like civilians killing themselves.
Yeah.
So the whole thing here is ideology, I believe. Because most of us are the political parties that we belong to also. Groom us and mentor us on what we can do. You realize, yes, it's been violence all through. Then it's been this one is what? This one of FDC. Defiance. And then we, Democratic Party, say we can disagree and sit actually and agree later. So
They see you as
where you belong, Ugandans, these youth in these institutions of higher learning, because they are at the edge of decision making. Even when you're at university, a parent will not decide for you. So we have to actually sit down and agree that you're looking for a guild leader. Guild leadership is 1 year. What if you were looking for president of Uganda? Wouldn't you kill 1,000? Wouldn't you kill 1,000 that now that because you're looking for a bigger post now? Because if you can kill one person because you want to become you want your person to become a guild leader for 1 year, 1 year. However much it's a milestone, of course, to one's career of leadership and what. But if you can do that, then what about if you're looking for the other bigger post? Then the Nobad Maos, the best just should start killing one another because the other post is bigger and also looking at the time, you know? So
the irony of FDC fighting NUP, for me, it has always never made sense to me.
It does not completely because we are all in the opposition.
That's what I'm saying.
Unlike the opposition has lost meaning. Some people do not know what they are doing in opposition. Some people are here they are DP, they are NUP, they want to oppose the DP instead of looking at the goal. We've lost the goal by the way.
You find NUP
we no longer know where the goal posts are. We are throwing the ball outside. We do not know where we are supposed to shoot the ball to.
Seven can lie, but he said by 2021.
By 2021.
There will not be any opposition.
And that starts. I am
seeing
seeing it by the way, because if now opposition has started fighting opposition to the level of losing someone, to the level of blood, then we are going to.
And it's not the first time.
It's going to get
this
tougher.
Has been recurring. Remember when Norbert Mao came out to speak?
Yes.
You see how he was abused
and
on social media.
I appreciate the fact that this is a public institution. That means whatever happens to the public transits to the institution because it is an open place. But either way, we must look for ways of bonding. In that, when I meet you and your NUP, we must know that our enemy is one.
Yes.
And unlike knowing that my enemy is you or what, that is what some parties are telling their members. You see, for a leader, if you're a leader and you even when you're talking, you're spreading the hateful speeches.
Yes.
Then you push the very thing to the young people that are coming up.
Of course.
I am telling you, it all goes back to the ideology and where you belong.
Okay.
Of the party.
Allow me to pause it from there. Asman,
Yes.
you are seeing the disagreements that are happening.
Yes.
Is your political inclination also maybe not agreeing with some opposition members?
For us, we know where the goalpost is. That's number one. Number two,
Yes, sir.
to begin blaming any party in that Makerere saga is falling in the trap of Mr. Museveni. I have been watching very clearly political players in this country, and I'm saying, Mama, we have fallen in this guy's trap. Let me tell you.
I think I get what you're coming from.
Let me tell you. For us, in our time of Makerere, and whenever I go, I visit these universities, I don't see a university that had activism like we had.
A university that shaped leaders. That
we had, of course, all even our time, those who were there before us tell us we were a little dormant. I don't see it there. That's number one. Number two, you see, the philosophy or ideology of any dominant class in an entity influences how all other classes operate. People have been asking, and every time they ask that question, I keep quiet. What is the ideology of NRM? And I keep, those who have taken trouble to discuss it with me, I tell them the ideology of NRM is violence. And there is evidence. The evidence go back to President Museveni's own university dissertation. How he explained Frank Fanon's theory.
But everybody has a theory.
No, yes, of course. Theories. Now, if you wanted to know needs theory, needs ideology, and how it operates, You then look at the background of it, those who started it.
As if you're looking at President Museveni's presentation, he was, I think, in 1980 UPM, and he was on a political rally requesting for votes, but he was also asserting that even if you're going to vote, even if we bring we want a militia, but even if the militia comes, it has to come by the backing of the people. You get, like, in a political rally, you would expect a bit about views, and you should.
But then
there is a subconscious that is talking about the militia.
Exactly. You know that even in 1980, there are only two groupings that had militias. That was the UPC, UNL, and the UPM. Yes. So wherever you have seen President Museveni somewhere, whether playing politics, there will always be an element of violence. That defines what that person's ideology is. When you're talking to my friend Chairman Mao, he will not end a sentence or a paragraph without talking about something to do with justice, not truth, deliberately, justice. Then when you follow him, you know that defines his ideology. When you talk to General Muntu, he will not complete a sentence without talking about something like grassroots. How do we mobilize a unit of people? His ideology believes that people must follow him. Now, when you talk about carburetor, he will not complete a sentence without telling you people, economy, money. He will not empower money. That means his ideology is anchored around there. Yes. So the gentleman's ideology anchored around violence.
But how do you bring the violence?
I'm building it in 1 minute. In 1 minute. Because let me tell you, tell me an election. Yes. Because we used to call Makerere, for us in our time, we used to call it summarized Uganda. Now, whatever happens in Makerere happens in Uganda. Or whatever happens in Uganda happens in Makerere. You get it?
Because it's a public institution.
Exactly. When a mother cow is chewing, a young one is watching.
We'll watch how it...
Tell me an election we have had since 1996, when I was conscious that President Museveni has been a candidate, or NRM has been a candidate, and it ended without death.
There is no. I can candidly say that.
Now, you bring it to here. You are talking about FDC versus NUP. When barring Tibarondwa in Bushenyi, this is what General Tafire said. He said, when we were in the bushes, we would put on UPC t-shirts.
Yes. And
you get it? Go kill people and then go to rescue them. Why then do you think that even this was not done by the person who wants to destroy opposition parties, so that it is a trap to eradicate activism? Activism. Because the guy is against political science. The guy is against civic education. And those are the causes that produce activists, political activists. Why are you saying it is not a trap?
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming here. Helen, in just 30 seconds, may you give us your parting shots?
Oh, well, thank you for viewers for following up this program, and I want to thank the Digitalk management for always inviting us as UYD to have a say on national matters. And to the people out there, I want to remind you that our goal is one. Let us stop diverging from actually the cause.
Yes.
Because the cause should be the reason, not that, because what makes somebody matter is what they've died for, not death. So let us be straight to the cause, and we shall be there. Yeah.
Okay. Just to add on, Mutale Farouk says no student did that, sister, and he says Butuke Joan says that, but this DP girl also, but you are also fighting opposition with no facts. That is what Butuke is saying. Then Mutale Farouk says, these are 7 tactics. You wait when they come out with issues that they are banning political parties in universities. NRM no longer has
Banning
support
them
anywhere.
won't be a solution because that is a public institution.
He says that political parties should be banned in those institutions.
It is a
That is a
public
trap.
institution. It
That's
is
where
already a
Museveni
trap.
wants it to be.
Because he knows that all strong activism revolutions have come from institutions. So that could be a trap.
Even liberation struggles.
We must be careful.
Recruited
There are
from universities.
there are other measures that can
Even
be put
himself.
across.
That is why. That's why I'm saying.
That
That's
is
why
not the
I'm saying
strongest
he wants.
point.
It is a trap Museveni
It is
is
a
laying,
trap.
so that we talk and say, okay, let's
There
take
are
away
other measures
political-
that can be taken to curb this than banning political parties.
I have here Tumuhimbi Senoman. He has been watching. Roger has been watching. Nwamanya Patience has been watching. Mutale Farouk has been watching. Planet Aaron says enjoying the show and he's watching. We have Luwede. He's watching. Patrick Musinguzi MP Bugahia. He says Museveni is the master of violence. And Jemix Pro has been watching. Kato Tumsime has been watching. And very, very many people. I can't read all of you. But because of time, allow me to stop here. Thank you so much from wherever you have watched us from. And we are going to be back here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We shall be here. Thank you so much, Asuman. Thank you so much, Helen, for coming through. And the entire Digitalk production crew, thank you so much. We shall meet again tomorrow, same time, same station. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. Good morning.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.